Hello and welcome to our 14th session, and in this session we are going to complete our 2D game project. We are going to continue from the previous session, and we have not added rigid body and colliders to our furnitures. We are going to add it, and later on we are going to add collectible like dirt. Our player moves. We are going to create an animated particle system when the collectibles collide with the player. And after that, we are also going to add an UI like scoreboard among the total collectibles, how much of them you were able to collect. So with this, we are going to complete this complete 2D gaming session. If you have not completed your previous session and if you doesn't have that project file, you can come into your YouTube description or in your e-learning page, and if you click more here, you have one Patreon link. Click on the Patreon link, and in this Patreon page, if you scroll down, you have a file Unity Profile 2D Game Start.zip. Click on this file to download it. Once it is downloaded, you can copy it to your Unity project, right click and choose Extract All. Launch Unity Hub, come into the Projects tab. You can come into Add Project from Disk. And selecting this folder, if you click open, the project can be opened. Right now I click cancel here because I already have my old project completed here. So I will just click on my Unity profile and wait till it opens in Unity. Come into the project window. In Assets, Unity Profile Contents, in Scenes, you have this top down 2D scene. Double click to open this, and here this is already open. We have created all our sofa, plants, all these objects, but right now no physics is applied to it. I will come into the living area, open this living area and select sofa. With shift click armature 1, armature 2, ottoman, plant and lamp. Come into add component and select rigid body and choose Rigidbody2D. If you just save it now and if you try to play the game, now you can see all these items drop down. If I stop the playback, when you apply physics, by default gravity is applied to it. So with all these sofa, armchair 1, 2, ottoman, plant and lamp selected, come to gravity scale and set it to 0. I will close this living area now and open dining area. I will select table, coffee, desk. With shift pressed, I will select chair, dining, blue. Then I will come to add component. I will add Rigidbody2D and set the gravity to 0. I will save this. Now same thing we are going to do it for shoe left and shoe right. With shift pressed, I select both. I come into add component, add Rigidbody2D and again set the gravity to 0. We also need to add colliders. So I will come back to living area, open living area, select sofa, with shift pressed, armchair 1, armchair 2, ottoman, plant and lamp. Come into add component and we are now going to add collider, and I am going to select box collider 2D. In this, the box collider is fine for sofa and for this table, but for lamp, instead of box, I am going to use a circular collider. Selecting this lamp, come into the inspector and you have box collider 2D here. On the 3 dots on the right hand side, select it and choose remove component. I will again add a collider component, but this time I will add a circle collider 2D so that the shape of my object and the shape of my collider is the same. Now similarly, I will also select the plant and I will come into inspector, box collider 2D, and I am going to remove this component. Then I will again add this circle collider 3D for this plant also. I will select both these shoes. I am going to come to add component and I will add box collider 2D for it. Now similarly, I will select this chair with shift press, chair 2, chair 3, chair 4, chair 5, chair 6 and the dining table. Come into add component and I am going to add box collider 2D for all these components. If I come here and save it, and now if I execute the game and if I test it, you can now see when it comes and hits the table is floating. I can hit and move this here I can hit the lamp here, see, and once this lamp moves, we can actually create a chairs by hitting and moving all these objects. Now when you are moving if you are feeling that it is floating like a very light material, sofas will not be so light. Yes, I am going to stop the playback. I will come into dining area, select table coffee dark with shift pressed until chair dining blue 6. I will come to linear dampening and I will set it to 5. Angular dampening I will set it to 6. And now if I save this and if I execute it, now you can see these sofas have angular dampening less. However, if I come to this dining area, you can now see due to greater angular dampening, how it reacts is more natural. I will stop the playback. I will also close this, come into living area, select sofa with shift press, select till lamp. Come into this rigid body. I am going to set the linear damping value to 5 and angular damping value to 6. If I come to file, save this, and now if I run, you can now see this is going to come and hit. The damping is avoiding too much movement in the sofa. And also these sofas are heavy and you cannot push from a vacuum cleaner so easily. To add this reality, I am going to stop the playback, then come into the living area, select sofa with shift press, click till lamp to select all the 6 components and come into the mass and set a mass of 20 kgs now. Now come to file, save this, and now if I execute the game, so now you can see when I hit the sofa, it is not moving very easily because now its weight is more. And stop the playback. Our next mission is to add the collectibles or the dirt. Now if you come into the project window, assets, Unity profile contents, and in sprites you have collectibles, and if you double click to open it, you have cheese 2D, then dirt 2D, rock 2D and star 2D. And if you select every collectible, say for example if I select dirt 2D, and if you come into the inspector, you can see it has polygon collider 2D. Since this is in a triangular shape, polygon collider 2D is applied, and for this ease trigger is enabled. Then you have collectible 2D script also applied to it. Now if you want to explore this script, you can come into the project window, assets, Unity profile contents, and in scripts you have provided script, you have this collectible 2D script. If you double click to open this, this opens in Visual Studio Code, and here you can see you have a 35 line script added here. Now in this script we have added a rotation of around 0.5f. The triangle is made to rotate using this transform rotate command. This rotation is carried out in the z axis, and if you scroll down, in our previous case we had used on trigger enter, but in this case we are using a separate function for 2D which is called as on trigger enter 2D, and even here the component that we are going to get is player controller 2D. If you want to know about the details of the script, if you come into the Patreon link provided in the YouTube description or in the e-learning page, and if you scroll down in this attachment, you can see an attachment 14B collectible 2D script explained. If you click on this and if you download this PDF file, you can double click and open this PDF file. In this documentation, step by step this code is clearly explained. Coming back to Unity, come into project window, assets, Unity profile contents, and in sprites come into collectibles. I select this dirt 2D and I will drag it onto my hierarchy. So when I drag it, it will come and sit at the center here. So I will take the move tool, drag it and place it at some point here. If I go to file and if I save it, and if I now play the game, you can see the collectible is rotating, and if I press D, and when my player hits it, you can see with a particle explosion, the collectible is destroyed. Now I will stop the playback. I will select this Dirt 2D, and we had placed only one collectible, duplicate it and place it all around the scene. So for that I will select this Dirt 2D in hierarchy, press Ctrl D, and I will come into snapping here. I set the X value here to 0.5, and then I will select this, and as I drag, if I press Ctrl, you can see a new copy is created. Now I select both of this, press Ctrl D, duplicate it, with Ctrl pressed, if you drag it, 2 more copies. So I select all the 4 now, press Ctrl D, and then press Ctrl press and drag it. Then I will select all these 8 now, press Ctrl D, and I am going to drag it with Ctrl pressed. Then I select these 3, press Ctrl D, with Ctrl pressed I will drag it, and I will select only the last 2, press Ctrl D to duplicate, with Ctrl pressed I will drag it. I will deselect everything, select the last one, press Ctrl D and drag it to the top with Ctrl press, select this and this both, press Ctrl D and drag it to make a copy like this. Again press Ctrl D, with Ctrl press drag it along Y axis. This copy is here, so I select the last one and I will delete it. Now I select this, press Ctrl D, and with Ctrl pressed I will move it like this. Then I will select both here, press Ctrl D and I will drag it like this. Then press Ctrl D, with Ctrl pressed drag it, Ctrl D, with Ctrl press drag it along X axis, Ctrl D to duplicate, with Ctrl press drag it, Ctrl D to duplicate, with Ctrl press drag it, Ctrl D to duplicate, with Ctrl press drag it and place it on the other side of the sofa here like this. Then with Shift press I select all these collectibles in the top row here. I select everything, and then now press Ctrl D and drag it down and place it here. Similarly, I will select this, all the collectibles on the right hand, press Ctrl D, and with Ctrl press drag it down like this. We have placed our collectibles all through our track. Now coming here into the hierarchy, I select Dirt 2D here, scroll down, with Shift press select the last one. I have selected all these collectibles together, then right click, create an empty parent and call this as collectibles, and then close it. So now we have all the collectibles placed. Now go to File, save this, and now if I execute the game, if I press D, as it hits, you can see the collectibles are getting collected. So if I press W, I can move up. If I press A, I can collect all these collectibles here. So like this, I can collect all these collectibles. So right now, I will stop the playback. Now let us add some user interface. In this case, when you are collecting the collectibles, I need a display saying how much of these collectibles has been collected or how much is remaining. So to create this UI, we are going to make use of UI components. If you come into the hierarchy, right click, you have an option here UI, and adding these UI elements, we are going to create the user interface. Right now, this user interface is already created for you. Come to the project window, and in Assets, Unity Profile Contents, come into Prefabs. You have a folder called UI, double click to open it, and in this you have a component called remaining underscore collectible underscore UI. Now drag this and put it into the scene. If you just double click on this, you can now see this has a user interface with the text collectibles remaining, and the end value is set to X, which will be replaced by the number of collectibles on the scene. If you open this remaining collectibles UI, you have an image. If you open it, it has a text component, collectibles remaining. And if you come on the right hand side, in the inspector, it has a text mesh row, and here you can change the text, and this X value is replaced by making use of a script. If you scroll down, it is attached with the script called as update collectible count, and this update collectible count script, where it is present is, if you come into asset, Unity profile content, you have one source files. If you double click and open this, you have a folder called scripts, and inside this you have update collectible count script. If I double click to open this, you can now see you have a 46 line script, and using this script we are updating our collectibles count. I will come back to Unity. Now I will come to file and save it. Now if I execute the game, you can now see that the total collectibles remaining is set to 56, and as the player collects the collectibles, you can see the numbers are decreasing. So right now I will stop the playback. I will come into this floor, double click so that we are zoomed into our play area. The next component that we want to add is an animated component. If you come into your project window, come into Assets, Unity Profile Contents, and in Sprites, you have animated one folder, and if you double click it, you have two sprite sheets. One is the cat sprite sheet and another is the dog sprite sheet. So if I select the cat sprite sheet, you can now see here you have different cat images which are animated frame by frame. Once I select the sprite sheet cat, I can come into inspector, and if I open Sprite Editor, you can now see this opens as a separate window. In the cat, you can see how its eye and legs are animated over different frames. There are 8 frames here. Now all these 8 frames are present in one single image. Now in Unity, we create animation by slicing this one large image into different frames. Now to create multiple images, I have to now close this Sprite Editor, come into the inspector, and here in sprite mode, as of now it is set to single. I will click on this single and I am going to choose the option multiple. Now if I open Sprite Editor, it is now asking me to apply this import setting, and here apply changes and continue to Sprite Editor window, click on S. Once you open this in sprite mode multiple, you have this slice tool active, and if I click on this, you have slice type set to automatic, and if I click on the slice button, your image is automatically sliced into 8 pieces here. I will come here and I will click on apply, and when I close the Sprite Editor, if you now open this sprite sheet cat, you can now see 8 images are created, and you can see the preview here, and these images you can see slight animations created in this. I will select the first image with shift press. I select the last image here. I will just drag this into my hierarchy window, and when I drag it, it is asking me to save this as a .anim file. I am going to save this as cat and I will click save. If I zoom into my screen, at the origin point you have this cat added. So I will just drag it and place it at some point here, and in order and layer, I will set it to 2 so that this is above. Say for example, I will place the cat here. I will go to file and I will save this, and now if I execute the file, you can now see the animation of the cat. Tail is wagging, the eye is blinking, and you see a small motion in the mouth. When you bring your player near this cat, see, nothing is happening. This is passing through it. I have to again add a collider to this cat. So I will stop the playback. I will select this sprite sheet cat _0. I will press F2 and I will rename this as cat underscore animation, and with this selected I will come into the inspector and I will click on add component, and I am going to call for collider, and this time for this I will add a circle collider. I will come to file, save this, and now if I execute the game, you can now see if I now bring this player and near the cat and push it, and it is getting stuck. So if I want this to interact with one another, then I will stop the playback. For this cat animation, I will come into the inspector, scroll down, and in add component, I will also add Rigidbody2D, and in Rigidbody I will set it gravity scale to 0, then come to file, save this, and now if I execute the game, you can now see if the player now comes and hits the cat, see the cat is rotating, it keeps moving. You are seeing too much of a motion here in the cat, so to avoid it, I will stop the playback, and with cat animation selected, I will scroll down and I will set the linear damping to around 6, angular damping also to 6, and mass I will set it to 5. Now go to file, save it, and now if I execute the game, you can now see if the player comes here, I will press W, you can now see the cat is pushed and this appears more natural. Now coming into the project window, in asset unity profile content sprites animated, along with this sprite sheet cat, I will close this. I will select the sprite sheet dog, and now I will come in the inspector, and in the sprite mode I will change it to multiple. Click on open sprite editor, and in unapplied import setting click S. Then come into slice and choose automatic and apply slice and click S. So the slice is now applied. Click on apply here, and if you close it, coming into this the project window, if I open this, you can see sprite sheet dog 0 to 7, 8 slices created. Now with shift pressed, I select all these 8, drag this into the hierarchy window, and I am going to call this as dog.anim, save this. So now you have the dog image. Select the sprite sheet dog underscore 0, press F2, and I am now going to call this as dog animation. Coming into the inspector window, I am going to set its order of layer to 2, drag this and place it next to cat somewhere here. Now I will come into add component and I will add Rigidbody2D. Then I will set its mass to 5, linear dampening to 6, angular dampening to 6. Scroll down, again click on add component, and I am going to add a collider, a box collider, and then I am just going to drag and place it. Now go to file, save this, and now if I execute the game, you can now see the dog is falling down. That is because if I stop the playback with the dog selected, in Rigidbody I will set the gravity value to 0. Now if I save it and if I execute the game, you can now see both dog and cat animation running, and now when the player comes and hits them, see they interact with this vacuum cleaner. I will stop the playback, and one last thing I want to do here, I will come into the walls and I select the wall top, and if I want to change the color, I can come into the inspector, and in color I am going to select some cyan color here. I will copy this hexadecimal value, then close this, then I select wall underscore left also, click on the color, and in hexadecimal I select it and press Ctrl V to paste it and close it. Similarly wall right also I will select it, in inspector click on color, and in hexadecimal I will Ctrl V and paste it and close it. And for wall bottom I can select the color, and directly I can take this ink picker, bring the ink picker on this cyan area, click it and then close it. So now we have changed the color of our walls. Now go to File and save this. So with this, we have successfully completed our top-down 2D scene, and with this we have completed almost all of our projects, and in our next session we are going to create a user interface for your Unity profile, and we are going to call each of these scenes one by one, and finally we are going to publish this game in our next session.